All right, so do you remember what we're doing?
Yes. You're working on a new series. You want to do an intro. You want some pizzazz.
Some pizzazz. Okay, ready? Action.
Okay.
What are you doing?
This works on all the big Europe channels. Trust me.
It might be too much. Hi guys, so it's Kirk and Jess from the Forever Homestead. So we're launching this new, as Jessica showed, we're launching this new series on the Homestead channel about brewing and all that kind of stuff we do. We're trying to make it so that we are brewing all of our own beer instead of buying it, although we have found some really great craft beers that we like, so we're kind of drinking some of them. So this video is actually the first in the whole series, and it's more or less about the building of the brewery and and obviously, as you can see behind us, the brewery's kind of started. It's functional. I have done a couple of brews already, and I do have the footage, and we're going to actually post them sometime soon. But today we're just trying to get a little bit of the footage of the process of bottling some of this stuff. We're putting some in kegs. Basically, we have, I think, eight cases of beer ready to go, all different flavors. So we're just trying to get some of this stuff in bottles. So we'll show you a little bit of this, and then we'll show you the process of building the beer room behind us.
Ooh, it's very purple.
Might have let the blueberries sit a little long.
Purple haze. Booyah.
I think that might already be a song, though.
That's why it's even better.
Purple haze.
So the next day you'd be like, purple haze.
Alright, let's do some Grolsch bottles first. Grolsch bottles. We can line up. I think, what did we say we're doing? 4 of each? So the beer gun works pretty good. You can fill a bottle with CO2, and then I force carbonated this keg like an hour ago, so then we can fill it. Wow, it's a crazy color. And then we can top it off with some CO2. When we do this, when we make that red card into it, I need a low side for me, and then I can just set it up to you.
Oh, shit.
Bustle.
Yeah. But now I don't know how to get it out of there.
Our old guy, Skelly, loves brewing the best. And that snoring puts me to sleep. So we could let this naturally carbonate by adding sugar, but instead we hook it to CO2, crank the CO2 way up, and shake it like this 200 times.
40.
So,
almost the end of December. It's almost Christmas. And we're in the house, but it's time to kind of set up a space here to get brewing. Jess doesn't want it up in the kitchen because, well, quite often it makes a big mess. So we had to quickly get all this drywalled when we to get our occupancy because we can't have the spray foam showing. But now I need to do a few changes. I've got to get hot and cold running water here. And I need to add some or change some receptacles. Right now they're kind of down at that level, and I need to raise them up, or not raise them up, but add a couple, one there, one over here, and then one in this space here. So I have to, this is all just kind of set here, so I have to pull it all away from the counter, or away from the wall, and I haven't taped anything yet, so I need to pull this, I need to pull these 2 sheets of drywall off so I can run some electrical and some plumbing in there. Okay, so we have the cupboards up. It's kind of a weird setup. I mean, you can't really complain when you get something for free, but like this side is all okay. It looks like when we got them, there's probably a set of drawers that was supposed to be here that, whatever, they kept. This side all lines up perfectly. The edge of the counter is to there. But then if you look at where the sink goes, it's not centered in the space. And the sink basically hits this edge when it goes in there, so I have to cut some more of this away, which isn't a big deal. But also the edge of the cupboards don't line up with the counter, and the distance of that from that edge to that edge is the same as the distance that this needed to go over to center. So I'm not sure how they would have pulled it off, but somehow they had the countertop slid that way like 5 inches. It must have been some kind of a weird setup they had. Well, it can't even be that. I don't, because then this wouldn't be here. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they had it set up, but yeah, this is what I get. So it's not a huge deal. Like this isn't centered over the sink. I don't know if they would have had a window here. I kind of, based on the grease that's on this, I think this was near the stove or something. Or over a fridge. It's kind of small though, so I'm not really sure what they had going on. But anyway, there's some extra shelves that go down in this space here, but this is where I'm going to store my my stainless steel fermenters and stuff like that, except for the big one. But I'm going to put all those ones down in there. So there was a little shelf that went back there. It's not going to fit, so I'm going to actually cut that shelf into at least one for here, 1 or 2. I'll see what I can fit, and then I'll be able to put my my glass test equipment and my stir plates and things like that. So I'll put all that up there. So I'm going to get the sink in today, and then kind of just give it all a wash down, and I can start to put I could put some of the beer stuff away, kind of figure out what space I have. I kind of wish I would have put another receptacle in there. I know probably even by code I have to have one there. I think it's every 6 feet. I don't know why I didn't. I kind of marked everywhere I wanted one, but I didn't put any mark there. But anyway, it's not a huge deal. There is one there. I don't want to have to rip everything back open, so I'm going to go without it. So I'm going to clean this up, bring some stuff in, get this sink mounted. I don't think I have all the plumbing stuff I need. That's the other thing. When I did the plumbing, I kind of just roughed in quickly because it was the day the spray formers were here. I kind of forgot all about it. So my drain is there, but it needs to be in there. So I'm going to have to, kind of put it on a a 90-45, or I'll probably put a Y on it, and then I can have a clean out on the end of it, just because the grains and stuff that go down it. But I'm going to put a shelf here, or sorry, I'm going to put a gable end here, and then in there I think I'll put my mill and my scale in there, and then in this side I will do like my glycol chiller and things like that will get stored under there. And then we're going to bring in the metal cabinet that right now I currently have everything in. That'll go there, and then I'll put my keg fridge at the end, kind of thing. Yeah, so let's get that stuff done. Kind of have the sink done. I got the faucet on and connected down below. I still have to tie in the water up top here. And I have the drain mostly done. The drain is kind of what I'm working at today. So it all came with these old, I don't know if you can even see down here, these old plastic things, which I don't really like, but I went out and bought the pieces that I want, and they were wrong. So just temporarily, I know temporary turns into permanent pretty easily, but I'm missing one of these little black, probably can't even see it anyway, one of these little black screw-on things. I'm missing one from over here. So this side of the sink doesn't work, but this side works. So that goes into the macerator pit over here, and I installed that, like I got the plumbing from the pump up into my house plumbing, and that's kind of the point of today's video. So normally what you would do is you would hook that up and then run a whole bunch of fresh water through it to make sure you don't have any leaks. That's not an option here today. So that pit has been full of water basically since the floor was poured, and I pumped it out a bunch of times just with a regular pump. But it always seems to have water in it because the basement flooded before and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the water that's in there right now, I cleaned a bloated toad out of it and a squirrel corpse. So it's really not great water. But I kind of need to get it out of there. So like plugging in the sewage pump is the best way to do it. Except if there's a leak in the sewage pump, because then I'm going to have bloated toad and squirrel water everywhere. The only parts that I'm really worried about leaking is this contraption here, the shut off and the backflow preventer and all that kind of stuff. I think it's on there tight. I don't know. I think the only way I'm going to actually know for sure if there's no leak, because if there is a leak, hopefully it's just like a little dribble. Or I guess it could be a gusher. We don't know. I think maybe I need help. I think I gotta get Jess to help me. She says we don't spend a lot of time together. Maybe bloated toad and squirrel water is a bonding moment. I don't know. Let's see. Jess, do you have a second? She's coming. Let's go there. Okay. So I have Jess here to help. I've explained, kind of, that it could be bloated toad and squirrel water.
I don't feel like I was prepared for this.
So the plan is to not get covered in bloated toad and squirrel water. So
Should we move the electrical?
no, we have to plug this in.
Oh,
So
I don't want to be covered in toad water.
me neither. So everything should work.
Amos.
Yeah. So I need you to plug that in there, and if you see gushing toad water everywhere, then we need to unplug it fast. And unplug it fast, and then possibly have to like hold this so I can like
Where are you going?
tighten that up. I'm going over there.
Like you're gonna be, you're the one, like I don't know
Yeah.
the whole plan.
Yeah.
So what are
You're gonna
what
plug
you're
that
doing?
in, and I'm gonna. This is tight, but not like crazy tight because I have to undo it again.
Okay.
So
So you're staying right
yeah. So like if you plug that in and you see.
there.
And I'm like, it's in my eyes! You need to unplug it.
Alright.
And then when you unplug it, if it's leaking, then I need you to like hold the body of this so I can tighten these things up.
Okay.
This has all been pressure tested to here.
Okay.
Okay?
So you want to plug it in?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
No toad water.
What was that sound? Was that a
That was that thing empty. Which means it should shut off. Okay, I'll plug it in. It should have actually shut off, but which means the float's probably tied up on something. Okay. Now I'm gonna dump some fresh water down. Hey, no toad water!
Well, no toad water in the face. Is it okay if that stays in?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of a success. The pump's not shutting off. I think the float got hung up, but hey, we're not covered in toad water.
Just there.
Alright, so that wraps up this new intro session. The beer room is a disaster. We only broke one bottle. We
Funny if the cups broke.
yeah, no, wouldn't have. Those are expensive. We kegged, bottled 3 different kinds of beer. You saw the building of the brew room. But if you'd like to learn more about all the different aspects of the building and the brewery and all that kind of stuff, then make sure you follow along. So there'll be a lot more about that next time. But until then, have a good one.
Cheers.